Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Happy morning to you guys. If you're a coffee drinker, tea drinker, whatever, hope you're having an amazing day. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, we are talking about the Florida man who has been arrested after shooting at a homeless family of 5 as they slept in their car in Tampa, Florida. Not only that, striking the pregnant mother in her head. So we're going to be diving into this tragic story. And when you think about this, a homeless family of 5, obviously there's a deeper story here, and that's not what I'm here to cover. I'm here to cover the true crime portion of what this 21-year-old man, almost kind of still a kid. My son is 21. He just turned 21 in September. This man is 21. He just turned 21 in September. And so as I'm looking at a lot of his pictures, I'm like, this is a freaking kid. He's still a kid. What would drive a person to do this? Here's the thing that I don't understand. Do they not realize there's pretty much cameras everywhere? You cannot go anywhere without a camera on you somewhere. And so if you're going to do something outside, you best believe there's probably going to be a camera somewhere. So I don't understand why people do things and think they'll get away with it. Yes, I get it. Some people do get away with some of these deranged acts of violence. Most people don't. And so when this guy set out, according to police, when this guy set out to do this, why would he possibly think that he would get away with this? My friends, if that is the type of stories you like to follow, please hit that subscribe button. And if you do get some value from this video, hit on that like, because that tells YouTube you got some value. Share it with more people. Let's go ahead and dive into this story, why don't we? Florida police have arrested this man for shooting a family while they were sleeping in their car, including a pregnant woman. Tampa police arrested Christopher Stamat Jr., only 21 years old, on Saturday, October 8th, 2022, with the shooting taking place at around 4:30 a.m. on October 5th. So it did not take long after the tireless efforts from the police department to catch up to this guy. Stamat allegedly shot the pregnant mother in the head, leaving her with non-life-threatening injuries. Praise the Lord on that. Stamat is being held without bond, faces 6 felony charges for the attack, including 4 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 1 count of second-degree attempted murder, and 1 count of shooting into a vehicle. And that's what makes this completely tragic. Why does this guy think he would possibly get away with this? That's kind of mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. In a news conference on Sunday morning, Tampa Police Chief Mary O'Connor revealed how police arrested Stamat on Saturday for felony marijuana possession, but was later released. And so they arrested him, but then he was released. But he was then rearrested later that afternoon after making the case for the shooting charge, O'Connor explains. I mean, I don't get why this guy would think that this was okay. Okay, so why would he think about, let me drive around and see what car I can just randomly shoot at? And so he comes across this car, which has clothing covering up the windows. He doesn't know that there's a family of 5 in there, I'm assuming. He doesn't know. And so he just randomly starts shooting into this car, not knowing who he's going to hit, not knowing that there are kids in this car. And so it made it for a tragic story. And so O'Connor, she says, our community as a whole can sleep easier tonight knowing the suspect linked to this monstrous random act of violence is no longer free to prey on innocent people. And she says, you take a gun and you unload it on a family, we can't really sit back and try to figure out the why on that. There's really zero tolerance for that kind of behavior. Oh my gosh, is that not the truest story to this? And so here they are. They're in this parking spot closer to the fence. And he takes a gun and then unloads it on the family. So, like, the shooting, it occurs in a parking lot across from the Martin Luther King Jr. recreation complex in the Old West Tampa neighborhood. And so this is the after effect of the shooting. And as you can see, Little Caesars was for the family, and there's literally a bunch of gunshots that hit the car. I mean, does it get any more tragic than this? Except that, thank the Lord, the mom gets to live. Because he obviously was trying to make sure someone died from this act. I'm speaking on my own opinion on that. And so we don't really know more than that. Because the police are still investigating. They have no motive as to why this happened. They don't know why this random act of violence occurred to this family of 5. His girlfriend, Stamat's girlfriend, she says that he was suffering from mental problems. And she shares that with the police. This guy, he was so into himself. I mean, there's so many pictures on Instagram of him working out. He was obsessed with himself from what it looks like. He was always taking pictures of himself working out. Literally, another picture of him working out. Now, from what it sounds like, he definitely appreciated muscles, I guess. He appreciated his body. I don't know. I do not know what would make him want to do something like this, but I'm still wondering, what made you think you would get away with this? And so they spotted this 2012 BMW through surveillance footage from the scene. They spotted it hanging out right around this area as well on North Oregon. And so he was spotted speeding away as well. And so they were literally trying to find this. And they would later find his car right in his girlfriend's home, some 3 miles from the scene of the attack. And so police, they searched Stamat's car and home after obtaining warrants, whereupon they found an empty gun box for a 9mm handgun and empty shell casings matching those found at the scene of the crime. And Chief O'Connor, she also says that she also told how the handgun police found was not the one Stamat allegedly used in the shooting. The chief added how the door to his bedroom, in which the shell casings were found, requires fingerprint identification to open the door. So there's no doubt that these shell casings belong to him, according to the Chief O'Connor. And she shares that. And so that's interesting, almost like they arrested him for the marijuana so that they can get more access to him. I'm just guessing. And so Stamat, he shares that, where is that? Stamat, he shares that he is the only person that was driving that vehicle, and he admits to driving down North Oregon Road, which is how they also helped identify his vehicle. And so he says he's the only person who had used his car recently, and that he was driving in the area of the crime the morning of the shooting. Now again, Stamat, he appears to be obsessed with weightlifting and working out. Judging by all his photos on his social media page, did not provide police a motive for the shooting, but told authorities that he believed he was being stalked and followed, which his girlfriend also confirmed to the police. Now, let me remind you, this family is just sitting in their car. The windows are covered with clothing, so there's no way he can say this car is following me. And so the father of the family of five, the father, who is in his 30s, they're trying to sleep in the car. So he's laying there, and then he sees another car pull up. And then he hears gunshots. And then he yells for his wife, who is in her 20s, and their 3 children, to get down in order to dodge the bullets. And so he's trying to protect his family, because he's just laying there all of a sudden in the car around 4:30 in the morning, remind you, with their headlights up. You know, first, nothing. He's just like, okay, a car pulling up, headlights on, and then all of a sudden these gunshots start going off and hitting the car. That's when he yells for his wife, who's in her 20s, and their 3 very young children. Get down, run for cover. And so the mother, who is pregnant, she is struck in the head, and she's taken to a local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. So, did it skim the head? We don't know just yet. What we do know is this tragic incident should have never happened. So, you have a child, 9-year-old girl. You have another child, 4-year-old boy, and a 3-year-old girl. Thank the Lord, they were all uninjured in this shooting, according to the police. Now, the children are now staying with other family members in Florida. And the family are said to have been living in a rental car because a relative did not have space for them. And they had spent their recent months living outside of Florida. And so they covered the windows of their car with clothes, making it hard for any suspect to see who was inside. And Stamat allegedly fired more than a dozen shots before fleeing. And police say there's currently no indication of any connection between Stamat and the victims. But let's be real. Does it get worse than this? Does it get worse than that? And so, I mean, you gotta say, like, why would something happen? And so here we have this incident happened that morning at the 2200 block of North Oregon Drive. And so this is at approximately 4:30 in the morning, when this family of 5 sleeping in their vehicle in a parking lot across from Martin Luther King Jr. Recreation complex when the father hears all of this. And then all of a sudden the gunshots. Man, like how scary can that be? And so the mom was taken to the local St. Joseph's hospital. And thank the Lord that the family is safe. And the cops said that they did work with the Choice Hotels in the local area to get temporary housing for the family. Thank you, Choice Hotels, for helping in this situation. And it's sad. The family member who turned their back on them, I don't know the story. I'm not going to judge, but I can tell you that, maybe they felt like they had the right reasons of doing this at the time. I wonder what they think now. I wonder what they think after the fact when they go to find out that this happened and we said no to them. So we only know like what little we know. But police have definitely identified Stamat as the shooting. And through investigative means, detectives identified Christopher Stamat Jr. as the owner of this two-door 300 Series 2012 BMW that is seen on multiple surveillance videos canvassing the area of North Oregon Avenue in the early morning hours of October 5th. And on October 6th, Stamat's vehicle was located in the garage of a home on the 3200 block of Marcellus Circle in Tampa, which is his girlfriend's residence. And so during questioning, Stamat admitted to being the only person to recently drive that BMW and that he was driving it Wednesday morning around North Oregon Avenue. And police said they got search warrants for his car and apartment, and detectives claimed to find an empty gun box for a 9mm handgun in the BMW and spent shell casings in his residence that matched the casings from the crime scene. So let's be real. It does not look like he's going to be getting away with this. Upon arrest, though, he did not provide a motive for the shooting. But he did state that he felt people were stalking and following him in different vehicles, on bikes, and walking. And again, there's no proof of that either. So we don't know what else that we're going to come out with this. What we do know is that it gets no more tragic than this. Does it? Does it get more tragic than this? Not really. And so now we wait to see what else will we find out that happened because of this. Will he be spending a life in prison? Well, nobody died from this. He'll most likely get a long prison sentence. I wonder if his girlfriend is still with him, because this is a serious act of violence. And now we wait to see, will more come about on Christopher Stamat Jr., who is accused at this time of firing on the homeless family in the car. And again, he's only accused. He will get his day in court. Right now, it doesn't look good for him. Does not look good for him at all. And so we will wait to find out what else do we know. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. And please, be careful out there. Be aware. Be alert. Look out for one another. At the end of the day, we're all we have in this crazy world, because it is a crazy world. The more prepared and alert we are, the more we can see these signs. And let me tell you, I could remember, sleeping in my car at one time. And not because I was homeless at that very moment. There was that one time where I really didn't have a place to live, but that's a different story for a different day. But this one time, I had to catch an airplane early in the morning. And I couldn't afford at that time to stay at a hotel. And so what I did was I parked inside of a hotel parking lot. And in the back, I have my bike in there. I like to take my bike pretty much everywhere. And so I'm sleeping, right? And I wake up to someone bashing my window in because they were going to steal the stuff in my car, but they didn't see me in there. And so I wake up like, what the? And then they like, holy, someone's in the car. They jet inside their car and rush off. So now I'm stuck with a freaking broken window, right? And I'm taping it and doing whatever. But look at that. I'm in a hotel parking lot and they smashed the window while I'm in there. Now, granted, they didn't see me in there, but look at that. My friends, my point is be careful with the decisions you make. It could be a costly one, financial or life staking. It's sad. We know these things happen. And unfortunately, it could still happen even when we're as prepared as can possibly be. So my friends, my point is be careful out there. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have an amazing day. I look forward to serving you again, and pray that this family gets on their feet. They move on from this. And my guess is they're probably going to get help. A GoFundMe page probably makes sense for this family. My friends, thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Peace.